I am Brooke Mulligan, and with me today is Victoria Abbott, our fantastic associate attorney. Today we're going to be talking about Ioan Gruffudd and his wife, Alice Evans. They have been going through a dissolution for about a year, I think, and it's been, unfortunately, quite messy. It started with some cheating allegations, not making a judgment call, but who he was alleged to have cheated with is still his girlfriend or fiance. I'm not sure.
Okay.
There have been allegations of some parental alienation on mother's part, specifically against father, of course, and also against this new woman.
I see.
There have been a lot of court hearings, and most recently they were the children were ordered to go to reunification therapy with their dad, Ioan, and I'm not sure how many people know about reunification therapy. It's not the most common order from the court, but it's not unusual.
Yeah.
And it usually comes up when there's
this exact scenario. It's a great example,
Yeah.
right? When there's been parental alienation, or even just a relationship between a parent and child that may not be, I don't want to use the word strong, but for lack of a better word, or a close relationship, and they're trying to reestablish maybe some stronger ties and a bond and connection.
And when reunification therapy is ordered, that doesn't mean there's been a finding of parental alienation.
Absolutely, yeah.
Sometimes a dissolution can just impact a child in a certain way, and they, take it out on one parent. One of the guidelines that the court follows is, looking at what is in the child's best interest. Yeah. And as part of that, it's having strong relationships with both parents.
Ideally, yeah.
Ideally. And so this reunification therapy is ordered as sort of a stepping stone to getting that stronger bond back.
Yes.
So this typically takes place, the therapist will meet with the child or children, usually separate from the parent for a little bit, meet with the parent, kind of get a background of what's going on. Sometimes we'll meet with the other parent as well to get a full picture of what's going on. And then ultimately they're working to therapy together and reunifying.
Yeah, I've also seen it take place where it's a little bit more casual, especially if there's a young child, where the reunification therapist might just come and do play with the child and the parent and kind of even like take a look at the relationship itself, especially with young kids who might not be able to sit, in therapy and converse.
That's
right?
a good point. That's a good
3-4-year-old.
I've also seen it used in situations where, for whatever reason, one of the parents was absent. And so, for example, maybe he was deployed or he or she were deployed, coming back to a young child. It may be, it would be
a
jarring.
Transition period, yeah.
So there's some sort of transition period. That could go along with some sort of step-up custodial plan. You start 3 weeks. We're going to have a dinner visit each week.
Yeah.
After that, we'll do a whole day. And the whole idea is to step up to a more traditional custodial plan where there's significant time with both parents.
Yeah.
Have you had any of your clients ordered to go to reunification therapy?
I have, yeah. I've had a client, I won't give away too many details, but yes, I have had a client who was doing reunification therapy, and in that case, there was some parental alienation. I guess I shouldn't say there were specific findings of that.
But your client felt
my client did felt that had happened, and as a result, the minor child was struggling during the custodial time with the client. And the solution the court arrived at and the orders they made was that they would do reunification therapy. And in my opinion, it did make a big difference. It can be very impactful. And I think it's something... I think it's a good order. I think clients should be advocating for it if they feel like there has been parental alienation. Sometimes clients feel a sense of, I'll word this gently, but it's, of course, you're upset at the other parent in that situation, right? But reunification therapy allows you to put the focus back on the child and the relationship with the child. So I think it's a really good thing.
I think another thing that can sometimes happen when you bring up the idea of reunification therapy with your client, or if the court orders that, that parent can feel a little defensive, which I think is natural.
Understandably. Right, absolutely.
No one wants to be told you need to go to therapy to get your relationship back on track. But I would just encourage people to look at this as a tool. Obviously, you want a skilled therapist. There are therapists who specialize in this. You're not going to go to your everyday, great personal therapist. This is a skill set to have. And I have seen it work really well. And you, instead of looking at it as some sort of punishment or penalty or determination of your worth as a parent, like I said, you should look at it as a tool, and you're being given the opportunity to rebuild that relationship despite whatever happened. And I'm and it doesn't have to be your fault why it happened, but here you go.
I have had clients actually ask for it as an order as well, right? They do feel like they need that, and the child, they, are thinking of their relationship with the child, and they have asked, can I make a request? Or they've been advised and they say, I'd like to request that from the court, and the court is, I have not found the court to be reluctant to order that if someone's requesting it.
I completely agree.
And then without getting the nuance, obviously cost and things like that sometimes can be a consideration as well, but most of the time it can be covered under insurance.
Right. You get insurance. You can – sometimes the court will order the more well-off parent to be paying for it, or, split it or split it proportionate to your income. Yeah. So while we are very understanding of, how cost affects things, work with your attorney to try to figure something out, because like I said, and I'm just going to keep repeating myself, this is a great tool.
I agree.
And
I completely agree.
We will find a way to make this work for you.
In this specific case, these two people, I believe it's someone...
they were ordered to go to Reunification Therapy with Karen Manger, who is someone that we have worked with quite often. I think I've had 2 cases with her. Oh, wow. I believe one of them, though, was in a reunification therapy, but she was working as a parenting coordinator. I hope I'm not saying the wrong thing, but
it's hard to remember all the facts all the time.
Exactly, but she's a great person, I think, for them to go to. So and it was fun to read her name in the article.
Isn't that fun when you see people you work with?
Well, even when I see a judge's name who they don't know me, but
you're like, I know them.
I've been in that courtroom. It is fun. It's fun to be in Los Angeles for many reasons, but
that is definitely one of them. Yeah, I know. I am. We'll get into this, but even like Sophia Bush is one of the celebrities who separated this year. Just thinking like we're in Pasadena. She used to be the Rose Bowl queen. I'm like, can we say her name on the podcast? Like,
should we tell them she's a Pasadonian?
Is there anything else we want to touch on for reunification therapy? I'm just trying to think.
I think it's a smaller topic, but one that's not discussed as much. So, hopefully anyone listening who might be struggling, this could be something that you want to bring to your attorney and see if that would be a good tool for you.
Yeah, absolutely.